Alright, so what is your seminal fluid, right? And the way that I'm gonna explain to you how what this is, right? You're gonna notice I do this a lot with words. I always take it to etymology, bro. Always take it to etymology, right? So when you look up seminal etymology, we already know that the word al is Arabic for thee. Okay, if you've been watching the videos that I've dropped so far on this channel, then you know words with al in it, or if you probably already knew that anyways, even without watching my, you know what I'm saying? But al means thee, Arabic for thee, right? And then semen, semin, comes from the Latin word semen, semen, meaning seed or semen, which passed into Old French before being adopted into Middle English in the 14th century. Okay, you don't need to know all of that. It means seed, right? But you also see the semi in the word seminal too, or semi, right? Seminale, semino, borrowed into Old French. Seed. Okay. It basically means seed, right? But we gonna keep digging because that's not descriptive enough. Matter of fact, we could branch off of that, right? Because seed, right? Think about it in a plant life form. When you know the seed has within it all the potential that it needs already to grow. It just has to be nourished and cultivated in a certain type of way. You see what I mean? And paid attention to and catered to, and you know what I mean? Basically, for it to grow, it already has the potential in it. It just needs the support, the extra little, you know what I'm saying? Because everything in life is like that. It coexists. Everything coexists with each other. One hand help the other hand. You see what I'm saying? That's how everything in life is. Like you coexist with the universe. That's why you're a co-creator. You know what I mean? The universe is also within you. You see what I'm saying? Like people think the universe is um, something like outside of them, and I'll probably get deeper into that in another video, or probably later in this video if it ties into this. But I don't want to take too much off. You know what I'm saying? The semen retention, right? I mean, essentially, is all because you definitely gonna tune into the universe more when you when you got your life force energy within you. So you know you can get into the universe in this video too. I ain't gonna lie, but right now, oh yeah, that's what I was telling you about, right? So I'm smacked right now too. I ain't gonna lie, I'm smacked high. But this is real shit though. This ain't just no high shit. I promise you, this real shit. Anybody that been on retention know. Right? I had another channel before. People know me, like, well, certain people know me from another channel. You know what I'm saying? I had like 1,000 subscribers. I just forgot the information to it pretty much, or you know, so I just made a new channel. But yeah, bro, like, so people know I've been on this journey. So don't think just because I'm saying I'm high, like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, this nigga just high talking shit. Like, nah, bro. I've been doing this for a couple years now. I ain't gonna lie, a few years, man. Recording it and all of that for a few years, like my journey and shit. Talking to people, building my subscriber list up and all that. You feel me? So, but but I am high though. You feel me? So goddamn. But just like you feel me, the seed already has the potential in it to grow. Right? It just needs that extra nourishment, that extra support. It's the same thing with your seed on semen retention, bro. Right? So you're not just retaining it, basically. You have to also support it. You have to nourish the seed. You have to water the plant. You see what I'm saying? You have to water it. So we have to look at it like that, because essentially it's the same thing. It literally is the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, essentially the way you grow and the way plants grow is the same thing. Like your energetic body, you feel what I'm saying? Your kundalini energy, it spirals up. How it spirals up the spine. If you look at certain plants in nature, a lot of plants in nature, I think all of them, they all spiral up. Like a rose, for example, the geometric structure of a rose, it looks like a spiral. That's why we say things rose up, all right? Because essentially when things are going up, they go up in a spiraling motion. You see what I'm saying? That's the way energy travels. I'm assuming, you know what I'm saying? Not even assuming that's the way energy travels, bro. I ain't gonna second guess myself. You know what I mean? That's the way energy travels. That's the way sound travels. That's the way light travels. It Well, light can travel a lot of different ways, infinite amount of ways. But if you like pay attention to the way things grow and certain words that we use, like why do we say things rose up? If you look at right now, is there any connection between that and a rose? It may not tell you that there is, but I'm telling you it is, because the way the rose is geometrically shaped. You see what I'm saying? It's just in a spiral motion, and the way things go up in energy, it spirals up like your kundalini energy. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's from the akashic records within. I ain't gonna lie, that's from the akashic records. But you're gonna access the akashic records when you're on retention. I ain't gonna lie, the akashic records is within you. People think the akashic records is a real place that you go to and no, the akashic records is essentially within you, because you have to understand that you are a multidimensional being. All of everything is within you. And I have a very neat idea that I want to share with you to be able to get you to see how everything is literally you, right? Because I remember at one point it was hard for me to understand, how the fuck could I be God? How could I be everything? And it was hard for me to understand, but the way my mind works and the downloads I received over the years and the knowledge I've gained, I've been able to understand it on a certain level to where I can explain it to other people, and I can use certain analogies, and you know what I'm saying, to get you to see what my point. So I'm gonna use a music analogy, right? But what you're gonna eventually realize though is that life literally is a musical art form. Life literally is a musical art form, and this ties into retention too. So don't think I'm going off. Nah, this ties into retention. I'm gonna bring it back. We gotta understand how you do all of everything, right? And with your life, because then we're gonna get into with the life force energy and all of that, like. But see, all right. So let me show you this. Right? Remember the scripture. I ain't no Christian or nothing, right? But I know that there's truth in everything. You feel me? There's truth in everything, bro. If you know how to look, you see what I'm saying? And you know where to look. It's all about your perspective. You see what I'm saying? There's truth all in the Bible. The Bible is very true. It's not like, it's not true in the way that you think it's true. It's like the people are in the Bible. They're not literal people. They're not literal historical figures. Not to step on anybody who's religious or anything, but over here I don't deal with that. See what I'm saying? I understand that the Bible is allegorical. It's symbolic. You feel what I'm saying? It's symbolic for you. It's a metaphor for self. So like Jesus, the 12 disciples, that's the 13. Jesus was the missing 13 zodiac sign. You see what I'm saying? The 12 disciples is the 12 zodiac signs, but it's also the 12 aspects of the mind and the 12 faculties of the higher mind, and this all goes back to knowledge of self, right? Jesus, another name for Jesus was Christ. If you look up Christ, right? I wish this dude would stop the fucking banging right now. I'm making a video, like, that shit about to blow me, I ain't gonna lie. Christ meaning. We gonna try to tune it out though, you feel me? I said Christ meaning, I meant Christ etymology. Now, I already know what this stuff means. I just want to walk you through it so you can see I'm not just making shit up, right? Christ. I can see that. It comes from Old English, Christ, then from Latin, Christus, and then from Greek, Christos, right? And then, which means anointed. Then it comes from Hebrew, Messiah. Well, a Messiah comes from Hebrew, Messiah, which, you know, means Messiah. And then Christos comes from crane, the Greek word crane, which means anoint, right? So it just pretty much, it brings you to the word anoint. Now you have to know what anoint means. So we're going to look up anoint etymology, right? That's how you dig. I'm finna show you, watch. Watch what I'm saying. All right, now anoint. Everybody see that? All right. Anoint. Middle English, a Middle English word, right? But it comes from Old French, anoint. It's still sounded like, pronounced like anoint, but it says like, I'm trying to show you that I said it like anoint, so you can know that it started with an E, basically. But it means anointed, right? And then that comes from Old French too, anoingere. Then that comes from Latin, inungere. And then that comes from Latin, ungere, or ungere, however you say that, which means anoint or smear with oil. And then Latin, the in part in ungere, whatever, means upon. Like when you rub something in or you rub it upon the surface, right? Um, Essentially the word upon is up on. So I'm saying, so it's just up on the upper part of the surface, on the up. See what I'm saying? On, up, upon, on the upper part of a surface. Like that's when you rub something upon something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it essentially means. But so anoint means to smear upon with oil. So this is where religions get the whole idea of rubbing that holy oil on the head. Is really symbolic. It's a reenactment of a real physiological process that happens within your body. You know what I'm saying? Some people refer to it as, in the conscious community, as sacred secretion. Right? Now, I'll let you look into that on your own time, but pretty much, essentially, Jesus is just you when you are fully activated. Jesus Christ is a consciousness. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't a literal historical figure. He's a protocol. He's a blueprint, a formula for you to follow to get into it. Because once you follow those protocols and once you become a disciple and you become disciplined, you see what I'm saying? In your journey, you're gonna achieve the Jesus status which is enlightenment, and you'll become like a Christ yourself. Cause just look up sacred secretion, bro, in the oil, and you'll understand what I'm talking about, right? But oh, why am I putting this up? Because now you gotta look up. All right, so look. So I understand the religions is in a different way. There's a scripture in the Bible, though, right, where it says, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him. All right. Now let me help you understand what this means, right? Bump everything you done heard. I ain't gonna lie. Just for the sake of understanding a new perspective right now in the moment. All right. In the beginning, there was sound frequency, and the sound was with the light, and the sound was light. See what I'm saying? Because essentially your words are sound frequencies, right? And the light is you. You're the light being, and you create sound. When you're a light, and you can convert your own light into sound. You can transform your own light into sound frequencies. That's essentially what you do when you express yourself, when you speak your mind, when you speak your heart, because your heart is an electromagnetic. It's an organ. Pretty much, it's like I don't know how to. It's full of electromagnetic energy. So pretty much is, you see what I'm saying? It's light and sound. Your thoughts, your ideas are light forms. You see what I'm saying? This is why when you have we refer to having a grand idea as having a bright idea and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Or when you have an epiphany, that can be described as the light bulb went off in your head, the light bulb effect, right? Or if you type the word idea in the phone right now, a light bulb emoji will automatically suggest itself, because it's trying to, you see what I'm saying? Like light, your thoughts literally is light forms. You're a light being, so your thoughts is light forms, right? So when you speak your thoughts, you're literally converting light into sound. You see what I'm saying? You speak your heart, you're literally converting that light into sound. That's another form of light too. You see what I mean? Like, these are just instruments. That's what I was trying to say. These are instruments. You see what I'm saying? For sound and light to travel, to operate, to generate, operate through. Like okay, so in the beginning there was the Word, right? And there was God. And now notice it says nothing else was there except for what? Just God and the Word, right? So that means that's all it was. So there was nothing else in the beginning that God could have used to form everything out of other than God's own self, because there's only God there in the beginning, right? So God had to literally use God's own self. So God spoke God's self into existence. God spoke the everything into existence. That was the everything that was within, and God expressed it, and it became externalized. That's what an expression is. When you express, you're externally pressing something that was within. You're pressing it externally, and now it's becoming a part of the external. That's what an expression is. Life is a expression of the self. You see what I'm saying? It's an expression of God. God is you. See what I'm saying? In the beginning, it was your word. You know what I'm saying? The word is sound, not literally like nobody said sound, but the word. You see what I'm saying? They're using the word as symbolism for sound frequency. Okay, this is why we have. This is why in religion they sing to God. You see what I'm saying? This is where that whole idea comes from. Psalms and singing to God, right? Because it's a reenactment of the creation process, the creation process at the beginning of physical creation. It's a reenactment of that. You're pretty much doing what God did, right? Because you are God. That's why that's the only reason why you would do what God did is because you are God. You see what I'm saying? How would you innately know to do what God did if you're not? You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Angel number 644. You know what I'm saying? We definitely suck right now. Look, so in the beginning it was your word, bro. And you sing the all of everything, and yeah, sang, okay? You sang it, boy. You wanna know why? This is why we have chakras that spin and are governed by sound frequencies called mantras. You know what I'm saying? Now, why is that important? Because your chakra system, your energetic body, your light energy body is the you beyond the flesh. That's what you existed as before you even formed into this flesh. So if that's you before the flesh, then what you think, and you govern by sound, then what you think you govern by now? What you think? How you even think you got into the now? How you think you formed into this? This is all sound in solid formation. It's light and sound in the condensed form and solid and all the way to a solid form. That's what we are. It's light and sound. This is where we get the idea to sing to God from and to make music. This is where the whole idea of making music comes from. Because when you look up the word music, it's the art of muses. The muses in Greek mythology. Let me show you. Let me just show you. See, we got it. It's about to get deep, bro. About to get. Let me show you, man. When you look up the etymology of the word music, anytime, I'm just breaking it down to you right now. The word, the suffix ending ic on the word, like chemic or metric, the ic means art of, right? So anytime you see that, it means art, right? So music is the art of the muses, right? Now I'm gonna show you I'm gonna show you. Look. The word music originates from ancient Greek word musike or musike, which means art of the muses or pertaining to the muses, right? See, ain't no cap in my rap, bro. All right, now what are the muses? What I know what the muses is, but I want to walk y'all through this shit, right? Basically, the muses is as they say, is 9 of them in Greek mythology. Now, keep the 9 in see what I'm saying, in mind. Keep the 9 in mind. Face that. You see what I'm saying? Keep the 9 in mind because that 9 is divine. You know what I'm saying? This is everything started from the feminine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let me stop playing with y'all, man. Nah, real shit though. Like, Nines in numerology is a number of completion. You see what I'm saying? Completion of cycles. It's the highest number in numerology because after nine, nine is the last single digit. After nine, all numbers double and they repeat themselves after one, two, three, four. It just go like 10 is just a one and a zero. 11 is just one, one. You know what I'm saying? It's a repeat. But nine is so nine in numerology will technically be the highest number. And then, nine ether beings, the nine etheric gases, and the nine. Come on, bro. Like, so I'm saying, what are the nines? Like the tips of my locks, the nines. You know what I'm saying? The nines. Well, that was kind of. Here you go, nine right here. Right here. Here you go, the nine twin. Yeah, a little loop at the nines, man. A little sixes and nines, man. 3, 6, 9. But look, what are the muses? It's pretty much the muses within you. You know what I'm saying, guys? I keep telling you, it's gonna go back to self. It's the muses within God, but God is you. So it's the art of your inner muses. So it's this out of the word muse is also where you get the word amusement from, right? Amusement or amusement park, shit like that. Like to be amused is to pretty much have your attention captivated. Like that's what music is. It captivates you, right? All right. So look, what are the muses in Greek mythology? All right, boom. In Greek mythology, the muses are the 9 goddesses of the arts, literature, and sciences, daughters of Zeus and Mnemosyne, whatever, memory. That's what that means. Mnemosyne, memory. They serve as a source of inspiration for artists and thinkers. See, it's essentially just energies within you. You see what I'm saying? But they have to put it like they're the goddesses and all of that. It's energies within you, bro. See what I mean? It's your own divine inspiration within you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's why it says they serve as a source of inspiration for artists and thinkers, with each muse governing a specific creative or intellectual field. The most commonly recognized muses and their spheres are Calliope, which is the muse of epic poetry. Clio is the muse of history, and then Erato is the muse of lyric, love, and poetry. And then Euterpe is represented by having a flute. She was also the of poetry too. And then Melpomene, tragedy, right? And this is not these not literal people or literal entities. These are energies within yourself, but they have to explain it to you like that so that you can put it in a way that helps you put it into to simplify it. That's what they're trying to do. They personify shit and anthropomorphize, and it's all allegory. You see what I'm saying? But it's essentially it's significant for these are energies within you. So this is where we get inspired to make music from. It comes from your inner muses, right? It comes from your inner inspirations. There's energy. Everything is within you. Remember, in the beginning, it was just you. There was nothing else that you could have made all of everything out of because nothing else was here but you and your word. Therefore, the all of everything that came out of you was literally once all within. So now that it's without, it's still you. It's just externalized. You expressed it. Now it became a part of the external. You sang it all, and you're still singing it into existence. This is why we say words like tuning in, right, or channeling our energy and all this stuff. It all is relative to sound. When we want to say we are familiar with each other, when something is that we relate to, we say resonate, right? Notice the 8 on the end of the word, resonate and relate, right? Re means again, right? To relate means to be full of relativity because this essentially the suffix ending 8 in the word relate, it means to be full of. That's why when we say we're full, we say we ate, right? Fortune 8 means to be full of fortune, right? So like to relate or to resonate, right? To relate means to be full of relativity, right? And then to resonate, which means to be full of resounding, because re means again, then son comes from sonus, and then 8 means full of. So it's a resounding, full of resounding. You see what I'm saying? Pretty much, um, you and somebody else's sound are full of, you and somebody else is full of the same sounds. That's what it means. It's like a mirror, echo. Like your sounds are familiar. That's what it means to resonate with somebody. You're essentially resonating with their energy, their vibration. Well, what creates vibration? Sound waves, sound frequencies, light waves, light frequencies. It's all a wave. It's all a flow. You see the wave in the back. It's all a wave. It's all a flow. That's why we call it a universe. Look, look, like a verse to a song. It's all a flow. It's all a wave. That's why we call it a universe, right? Because uni means one. Uni comes from the Latin word unus, U-N-U-S, which means one, right? But what is one? One is also all, right? That's why to unite, right? Uni, there go to, still the word, we still on the same uni. I'm just branching, I'm elaborating on the point now, right? This is why when you unite, I'm showing you how one is all at the same time. Right now, I'm gonna show you how one is all at the same time. Because when you unite, essentially, like when people unite, it's a multiple different groups of individuals, multiple, see, that come together and form a whole. So it's one function, it's one group. So I'm saying, so it's this one and all at the same time, like a circle divided up of multiple degrees. See what I'm saying? It's one whole circle, but it has multiple degrees within it. That's what God is. It's one whole thing, but it's the all at the same time. So it's one and the all, right? So that's why we call it a universe, because it's a union of verses, like a verse to a song. It's as if God was a poet or a songwriter, right? Because a union of verses that's what makes a song. When a whole bunch of verses are together and united, they make us. Ain't that what a song is? It's a verses, a union of verses. So it's as if God was flowing in the beginning and rhyming, and that's why everything. That's what synchronicities are. What you think synchronicities are? Is you encountering a familiar sound. It's rhyming. That's what happens when you relate to somebody. Your sound sounds like their sound. It's like hat and rat. It sound alike. It rhymes. You know what I'm saying? 655 angel numbers, man. So we call it a universe because it's a union of verses, right? It's a union of verses that you were singing in the beginning, that you were humming or that you were lyricizing, however you say that word, lyricizing, that you was rhyming in the beginning. It's as if God was a songwriter or a rapper or some shit. Same shit so-called black people do today, right? And ain't we the original man? Now we finna get deeper, right? Because we the original man, and so that's essentially when he said when the book was saying let us make man in our image, that the man that was made in God's image, the first one that came out was us. So this will be the direct look of how this is what God will look like in human form when it first transforms, not what it waters down into over time. When it first transformed, this is what it looked like. See what I'm saying? Because you gotta think, bro. Like, you gotta put this shit together, man. It was you. You sung yourself into. Why do you think we're the soul people? When you look up the word soul, watch what happened. Watch what happened. Watch this. I ain't even gonna give you no hint. I'm just gonna show you. You gotta see this shit. Check this shit out. Okay. Soul etymology. How would that say in note 2 at the bottom paragraph? Black Americans. Like, why are black people use that in for the example of soul? Instinctive quality felt by black American. Instinctive quality felt by black American. That's what they're trying to describe soul, and they're using black people as an example. We're the prime example. Like, you gotta understand why. An instinctive quality felt by black Americans as an attribute. Jazz slang from soul. Note one, probably in the sense of the animating or essential part. From this sense, are formations such as Soul Brother, 1957, Soul Sister, 1967, Soul Food, 1957. In this sense, century 1200 as spiritual sustenance or spiritual substance. Okay, that's the sense. Sustenance. Substance is kind of relative, right? etc. Soul music, originally the type of popular music typically sung by black singers and combining elements. Elements. The L means God. Ment means mind. Elements is God's mind. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, you see what I'm saying? We combining elements of R&B. Notice everything that we do as black people is always a mixture of something. We always combining this with this. We just know how to make shit out of nothing. I'm saying the same thing with the way we speak. We speak Ebonics. That's a form of a Creole. Creole comes from the Latin word crear, which means to create, right? Because when to create something, and notice how Creole is a mixture of different languages, right? That's what creates its own thing. It's a mixture, right? Now keep this mixture idea in mind because I'm about to elaborate on this point, right? And show you how it's relative to a lot of different things, right? It's still relative to the one being the all at the same time, because the one being the all is one whole comprised of multiple different things. The multiple different things would be the mixture, right? So, or the substance. Now, chemistry. I'm gonna show you how important you are as a melanated being, right? Chemistry is based off of you. It's based off of this thing that you're made of, called melanin, right? The very word chemistry in itself, chem, comes from the K-E-M, which means black, right? As in Kemet, the black land. They say it's in reference to the soil, but we're people of the soil, so we match the soil. So, melanated skin, melanated soil, you feel me? It's synonymous, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, this shit, like, I kind of forgot where I was just going, bro. I ain't gonna lie, but, melanated skin, melanated soil, what was I saying? All right, yeah, the chemistry, right? Now, when you see that history, right, on the end of a word like history, no, that's not, like industry, right? That, see, it don't have the I, but it has the street part of it, right? But the history, right, it means like art of. You see what I'm saying? It means art of. So essentially the word chemistry means art of black, or black art, right? They're studying the black. What is the black? The black substance. What is this black substance? It's a mixture of the elements. See what I'm saying? The black substance is a mixture of all elements. It's like how black is all colors. It's like how light came from within dark. Light creates all colors, right? But light came from within darkness, right? First. Everything came from nothingness first. The nothingness, the darkness is the same thing. It's the same thing as me saying everything that has form was once formless, right? The formless, nothingness, darkness is all the same thing. It's all a void that everything comes out of. It's the platform that provides for everything to come out. It's the generator. It's the generator. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. The generator. It's the creator, right? So the black is the creator. Even when we go up to different dimensions, when we get higher, when we get into chemistry and start studying, it's based off of you. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's alchemical, right? The al, it goes back to Arabic, which is a Shemitic language. Why is that important? Because all Shemitic languages are branches of the Afro-Asiatic tongue. Who are the Afro-Asiatic? The only motherfuckers in the world that got afros. Okay, so even Arabic, and Hebrew. These were originally languages spoken by people that had Afro-Asiatic peoples, right? Okay, so you gotta like put all of this shit together, bro. Like you gotta put all this shit together. This is why they call us Moors, because when you think about ancient times, and notice what I said before anybody come at me. I said this is why they call us Moors. I ain't say this is why we Moors. This is why they call us Moors, right? Because a moor is essentially you can moor a boat. Like mooring is steering, right? Let me show you. You gotta think back in ancient times when before cars and all this, highways and all this. We didn't have all of that. Niggas had you had to travel. You had to use the earth itself. At the beginning of times, before you started creating shit and expanding your consciousness, you had to just move off of what you had in improvisation. You had to use the earth itself, and that's okay because the earth is everything in one. So you can do that. You can use the earth to travel. You can use the earth to learn. Earth is the original school. That's where they get the idea of school from. They get it from Earth and nature and the universe. That's why they call their schools universities. Like, right? A mooring is a system for securing a boat to a fixed point, like a buoy or a dock, or using anchors, chains, and okay. Let me get to the etymology. That's what I was trying to do. But you see how I should do it, see what I'm saying? Boats and shit like that. Shipping, steering. It's a function word. It's not like a... Where is it? I still ain't typing it right. I put meaning, etymology. I'm doing typing shit on autopilot. Alright, now... Mooring, early 15th century. Action or process of making a ship secure. And pretty much you securing a boat. It's a thing that you do. You moor the boat, right? In a particular place by means of anchors. But how this is relative to what I'm saying, because it goes back to ancient times. You see what I'm saying? That's why they call us Moors. I'm just showing you how, like, all this shit, like when they say we gods, like, that's not to sound cute, nigga. Why do you think that we call this a reality? Now, this is something I can't show you. I can't look it up and show you because it's not gonna break it down like how I'm finna break it down, right? But listen to what I'm saying. Well, yeah, I can, but just follow what I'm saying, right? Why do you think we call this a reality? Re means again. Al is Arabic for thee, but if you notice, it's just thee. There's no specification. There's no thee what. It's just thee, because thee is the all of everything. It's you. It's going to God again, right? So re means again, and then al means thee, and then the suffix ending iti. You also see that word, that suffix ending in the word city, because a city is a dwelling space. That's what the iti indicates. A dwelling space, something that can be inhabited by something or someone. A space that's readily available to be dwelled within, like a piece of land, open piece of land, right? We call this a reality because it's a domain, right? It's an open space. It's like a city that was created so that Allah, God, you can be repeated into. See what I'm saying? It's like a platform that you created yourself. You created your own medium. This earth is a medium that you created. It's a medium that you created so that you can manifest yourself into, to experience it, and to keep it going, to keep it thriving. Because if God's presence wasn't on this earth, everything wouldn't be here. It disappeared. God's presence is, you see what I'm saying, which is your presence. It keeps everything going. Not just you, but you as in all of us as a collective, beyond the flesh. You know what I'm saying? That's what we are. We are God. And that's the song that was being sang in the beginning is the same song that's still singing everything into being now. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, so Like, this shit get deep, bro. This shit gets deep, man. Shit gets deep. That's why we call it a reality, though, because it's a dwelling space that allows for Al, God, the all, to be repeated into reality. So it's like a house that God created in order to live in. That's what Earth is. And that's why it isn't a dome, right? Because the dome is the original home. See what I'm saying? That's why we call this a dome, because it's a domain. Your mind is also a dwelling space. See what I'm saying? It's a dwelling space that allows for consciousness to reside in, aka God, aka light. See what I'm saying? Black him out. That's what your mind is. That's why we call it a temple, right? Because a temple is, the word temp comes from Greek tempus, which means time. Time is presence. Time is not linear how we see it. It's not a straight line. Time is just presence. That's why people say divine timing, because it's divine presence. That's what time is. And this is why religions, they build temples and tabernacles and shit like that. The whole idea of it is to go and spend what? Time with God's what? Presence. That's the whole point of a temple, right? So, but you are the temple that God dwells within. You see, that's why God's presence is within you. It's not outside of you. It's God is you. You see what I mean? And so, what you gotta understand, right? When you go on semen retention, or when you're now we bringing it back to retention. You're storing up your God essence. This is your creative force in fluid form. It's the same creative force. It's the same light and sound that you harmonized everything into existence as. It's just in the form of fluid. So when you store that up, you're pretty much becoming full of what? Yourself. You're becoming full of yourself. This is why semen retention can lead you to fulfillment. Because what is fulfillment? It has the word ment at the end of it, right? Ment means mind. It comes from the Latin word mente, which means mental or mind, right? And fulfill, when you fill something up to the point where it becomes full, now it's satisfied. It ate. Its fortune ate. See what I'm saying? It's full of itself. It's abundant. It's whole. It's complete. You see what I'm saying? So when fulfillment is when you're full of yourself. That's what essentially what fulfillment means, because everything is the mind. All is mind. The universe is mental. That's why we call places environment. So I'm saying environmental, because it's literally Al's mind. It's God's mind being replicated. We live on the presence of, this is God. You don't understand, this is God's body. That's why we call it a physical, right? Because physic comes from the Greek word physique, which means body or knowledge, like a body of knowledge, right? That's what Earth is. It's a body of knowledge, and you are a body of knowledge. Knowledge comes from light. You're a body of light. You're a light body. See what I'm saying? You're a light being. That's what you are. And that's what Earth is. It's just you in a different form. It's also a light body. That's why we call it physical, because it's the body of Al, or the body of the body. It's God's body, the body of God, the body of the all, in Earth form. So we call it physical, right? This is why we say we're spiritual, right? Because spirit comes from the Latin word spiritus, which means breath, and al means d. To be spiritual, or to be spiritual, pretty much is, the word spiritual means is a ritual, is a breathing ritual. Okay, it's a breathing ritual. You do that every day. So everybody's spiritual. People think that spiritual has to be like something that you have to become or initiated into. You have to light candles and all this. No, you're spiritual by nature, right? If you understand etymology, you're spiritual by nature, because spiritual literally means a breathing ritual. Spirit ritual, right? It's a breathing ritual. Something that you habitually do every day. It's a ritual that you partake in every day unconsciously, unless you're breathing consciously. like how we learn to do when we raise our awareness, start learning to breathe consciously, because that's breathing is important. I'll make a separate video on that too. It's important, especially on semen retention. Breathing is very important, bro. Like the way you breathe, all that shit is important. Like the way you breathe it can affect your nervous system. Like we don't get into it, like yo. Pay attention to words. They are codes that reveal hidden meanings in life, hidden things in life, right? So that's why I wanted to start it off with semen retention when I was showing you the etymology of the word. I told you you're gonna see me doing that a lot. And because, bro, I understand this. In the beginning, there was what? The word. Okay, so everything is literally a manifestation of the word. Now, the reason why I just emphasize the word literally like that is because we about to break down what the word literally means and why we use that word whenever we're trying to emphasize how real something is. We always say, no, literally. Like, there's a reason why. And you don't even know. It's like, it's right up under your nose. I'm about to break it down to you, right? And it connects to this because the word literal, and then I'm going to show you so you know I'm not making it up. Litter, al. Litter comes from the Latin word literad, Litterad, Literad, something like that. Literad, right? And then al again means the, but you know it doesn't have no the. Think of the as the God. When you hear that al, think of Allah, the God, just the. That's the reason why it's just the. There's no specification because it's the all of everything. You can't specify it. To specify what to put it in the category. You can't be grouped or categorized because you don't have a form, essentially. You temporarily do, and it's physical, you know what I'm saying? But we say literal, right? When we want to denote or emphasize how real something is, because all that's real is made of word itself. So it's literal. See what I'm saying? The word lit. I didn't finish breaking it down. The word litter comes from Latin litterad, which means letter. Right? And what happens when letters join a unity? See the same principle with the one being the all again, being echoed into even what I'm talking about now, because it all applies, right? When letters join unity, when letters unify, and they're put into a sequential order due to light, because light is the organizer. Light gives form to things. When light influences sound, it organizes the sound into a word form. That's what creates word. It organizes the letters into a word form. The original letters is the vowels, A, E, I, O, U. You see what I'm saying? Or E, That's how sound was in the beginning. But then as we progressed in expanded in our consciousness, you know, I guess the light organized the sound. That's what music is light organizing sound. The music producer is the light being, and he organizes the sound. You see what I'm saying? But like, so literal means letter. It means the letters of God. Or Al's letters, the letters. But these, the God, the all, right? Allah, right? You. So it's God's language, the letters of God, letters of Al's letters, language, right? In the beginning, there was the word. That's why everything is a literal manifestation of you, right? That's why we use the word literally to when we want to emphasize how real something is, because all that is real is made out of word itself. It's made out of literature. You see? Letters, words, sounds. So we have to point that out when we want to point out how real something is. See, that just shows you that everything is sound based. Everything that's real is sound based. That's why we have to use sound to use a word that means sound to identify with what's real. Basically. You get what I'm saying? Because all that's real is sound. It's made out of sound itself. And light. Right? But so that's what you're doing on semen retention. You're storing in your essence, your creative life force energy, that same light and sound in a fluid form. Right? It's that same light and sound in a fluid form. So when you store it up, you're gonna notice a lot of different things, right? And the key of it is you're using this instead of you, like I said, ejecting and shooting out your energy. You're constantly choosing to create a better reality. That's what you're really doing. Essentially, you're consciously creating. You're gonna learn how to become a conscious creator. Because what you have to understand is you're always creating anyway. You're always manifesting, even when you're not trying to. When you're unconsciously doing it, you're still creating and manifesting. You have no choice but to, because you're God. That's all you can do is create, even when you're not trying to create. You see? Now, how could you be creating when you're not trying to create? That means there's multiple yous, right? You see what I'm saying? There gotta be multiple yous if you can do this and not that at the same time. Like, you're a multi-dimensional being. This is why everything has multiple levels of existence, because it's all a repeat of you as the multi-dimensional one. See, one is all. All was once within one, and then when one expressed the all came into being. You see what I'm saying? So the all is still that one. So we're still the one. We're still God. We're just temporarily the all until the cycle is over. And then we loop around again. It's like a track. Birth is the start of the motion. Birth. This is birth. Then now this is life. Death. Rebirth. Life. Death. Rebirth. Life. Death. Rebirth. Like it's literally in a looping cycle. This is why circles are so important in geometry and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? That circle shape is very, very important, because if you, in the world of shapes, all shapes come from that circle, the womb. That's the womb. See what I'm saying? The same thing with numbers. All numbers come from the womb, the zero, the void. That's the same thing as saying all light came from the darkness. Okay, it all came from the black substance. When we get into it on the biochemical level, all things, all elements came from the black substance. The black substance was once all elements. Then it expressed itself, and then all the elements became a part of the all. It's the same concept. You see what I'm saying? It's the same concept, brother. Like, I love the way I break shit down, bro, because I just took some complicated shit and made it real simple, like, for y'all understand. Put some shit in perspective for real. That word perspective is important too, because the word perspective, right? It teaches you that you're a light being, because a spect is a spectrum, a light spectrum, right? So think of a light spectrum like this. I drew it out for y'all. A light spectrum, right, is essentially the circle, and then each triangle, each angle is an angle of light. So each angle is a per, because per means each, right? Each angle is a percentage of the spectrum, of the full spectrum. Here we go again with the all being one again. Is one whole spectrum, but it's divided of multiple angles of light, aka points of view, perspectives, percentages of the spectrum. You see what I mean? I can keep conveying that same point to you through different analogies, because it all goes back to the universal law of oneness, right? If you notice, even with that, the laws all circle back to the one. You see what I'm saying? It's all, one is all, bro. All is one. You see what I mean? So you're choosing on semen retention to raise your life force energy up. You're cultivating it for the purpose of getting into alignment. You're getting back into that whole state of being because you've been depleted from yourself. You've been subtracting from yourself. So now when you're on retention, what you're doing is you're dividing, you also adding and multiplying.